You don't notice the shift right away. It's subtle at first, a slight delay, a moment where your body doesn't respond with the same certainty it once did. You tell yourself it's nothing, just stress, maybe fatigue, maybe age. But then it happens again and again, and slowly what used to feel automatic now feels uncertain. That uncertainty is what stays with you, not just in the moment, but afterward. It lingers in your mind, affecting your confidence, the way you think, the way you feel. And like most men, your first instinct is to look for something fast, something that works instantly, something that guarantees results. But here's the truth: most people don't tell you your body isn't broken. It's responding exactly the way it's been conditioned to respond. And if you understand what's really going on beneath the surface, you'll realize something powerful. You don't need to force your body to perform. You need to support it so it can perform naturally again. Because erections are not just about desire. They are a reflection of your internal health, especially your blood flow. When everything is working correctly, the process is seamless. Your brain sends a signal, your blood vessels respond, circulation increases, and your body follows through. But when that system is compromised even slightly, the results change. The key player in all of this is something called nitric oxide. It's a molecule your body produces that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand. When those vessels open up, blood flows more easily. And when blood flows properly, everything else falls into place. But here's where things start to break down. As you get older, your body naturally produces less nitric oxide. Add to that a modern lifestyle, processed foods, lack of movement, poor sleep, stress, and you create the perfect environment for reduced circulation. It doesn't happen overnight, it builds slowly. Your blood vessels become less flexible, less responsive, less efficient. And the first place you often notice it is exactly where you don't want to. Now imagine reversing that process, not with something synthetic, not with a temporary fix, but by giving your body exactly what it needs to restore that function on its own. This is where one simple food stands out. Beetroot. It doesn't look powerful. It doesn't come in a flashy package. But inside it, there's something your body knows exactly how to use: natural nitrates. When you consume beetroot, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. And that one change triggers a cascade of effects. Your blood vessels begin to relax, circulation improves, oxygen delivery increases. And suddenly your body starts behaving differently, more responsive, more capable, more reliable. This isn't about forcing anything. It's about removing the limitations that have built up over time. Think of your blood vessels like a network of pipes. When they're clean and flexible, water flows easily. But over time, with the wrong inputs, they become stiff, narrow, restricted, the flow weakens. Beetroot helps restore that flow. And when circulation improves, you don't just feel it in one area, you feel it everywhere. Your energy levels rise, your endurance improves, your focus sharpens, because your body is finally getting what it needs. This is why athletes have used beetroot for years. Not because it's trendy, but because it works. It improves performance at a fundamental level by enhancing the efficiency of oxygen and blood delivery. And that same principle applies here. Now, let's talk about something most men ignore. When performance becomes inconsistent, it doesn't just affect your body, it affects your mind. You start to anticipate problems. You start to overthink. And that mental pressure creates even more resistance. It becomes a cycle. Your body hesitates, your mind reacts, and the next time the hesitation comes even faster. Breaking that cycle requires more than just a temporary solution. It requires rebuilding trust between your mind and your body. And that happens when your body starts responding naturally again. When you remove the pressure of needing a pill, needing perfect timing, needing external help, you create space for confidence to return. And confidence is not something you fake. It's something you feel when your body proves to you that it can perform. Now, here's where consistency matters. One glass of beetroot juice won't change everything overnight, but repeated use day after day, week after week creates momentum. Your nitric oxide levels improve, your blood vessels regain flexibility, your circulation strengthens, and then you start noticing the small signs: better morning response, increased sensitivity, stronger, more sustained performance. These are signals that your body is recovering its natural rhythm. And the best part, you're not relying on something external. You're building something internal. That's a completely different level of control. Now imagine this: you're not planning ahead. You're not calculating timing. You're not hoping something will work when you need it. Instead, you feel ready. That readiness changes everything. It removes pressure, it restores confidence, it allows you to be present instead of distracted. And that's where real performance comes from. There's also a broader benefit here that goes beyond the bedroom. Improved circulation supports your heart, it supports your brain, it supports every system in your body. So when you invest in something like this, you're not just targeting one issue, you're improving your overall health. And that matters especially as you get older, because aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean adaptation, it can mean awareness. It can mean making smarter choices that support your body instead of working against it. Beetroot is one of those choices. Simple, accessible, effective. But it works best when you combine it with other supportive habits. Sleep is critical. This is when your body repairs itself, balances hormones, and resets. Movement is essential. Even light activity improves circulation and keeps your system active. Stress management is powerful. Chronic stress restricts blood flow and disrupts the very signals your body relies on. When you align these factors, the results multiply. Now let's address something important. This is not about instant miracles, it's about real, sustainable change. If you're expecting a dramatic overnight transformation, you'll miss the real value. Because the real value is in rebuilding your body's natural ability to perform without dependency, and that takes time. But it also creates something lasting. There's also something empowering about knowing that the solution is within your control. You don't need a prescription. You don't need complicated routines. You don't need to rely on something every single time. You just need to give your body what it's been missing and let it do what it's designed to do. Now, a small note you should be aware of: beetroot can cause a temporary change in the color of your urine or stool. It might look reddish. This is completely harmless and simply a result of the natural pigments. Also, if you're on medication for blood pressure, it's wise to monitor how your body responds, since beetroot can naturally lower blood pressure. But for most people, it's safe, natural, and incredibly effective. And perhaps the most powerful part of this entire approach is how simple it is. In a world full of noise, complicated advice, and endless options, sometimes the answer is straightforward. Support your body. Improve your circulation, restore your natural function, because when you do that, everything changes. You stop chasing results, and instead you create them. So if you're looking for a way to improve performance naturally, without pills, without pressure, without dependency, start here. Start with something real. Start with something your body understands. Start with something that works with you, not against you. Because the goal isn't just to perform better once. It's to feel confident, consistent, and in control every single time. And that begins with one simple choice. You don't wake up one day and suddenly lose it. That's not how it happens. It's quieter than that, gradual. Almost unnoticeable in the beginning. A slight drop in firmness. A moment where your body hesitates. A delay that never used to exist. And at first you dismiss it. You tell yourself it's just stress, just a long day, just something temporary. But then it repeats. And that's when something deeper starts to shift, not just physically, but mentally. Because now it's not just about performance, it's about doubt. And doubt changes everything. It changes how you approach intimacy. It changes how you think. It even changes how you feel about yourself. Most men at this stage start looking for something immediate, something guaranteed, a fast solution that overrides the problem. And yes, those solutions exist. But they come with a trade-off. They don't fix the system, they bypass it. And when you bypass something long enough, you never give it the chance to recover. That's why it's important to understand what's actually happening inside your body. Because your body isn't failing randomly. It's responding to a combination of factors that have been building over time. At the center of it all is circulation. An erection is, at its core, a vascular event. It depends on your blood vessels being able to expand quickly and efficiently. It depends on strong, consistent blood flow. And it depends on your body's ability to maintain that flow long enough to sustain performance. And the molecule responsible for making that happen is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what signals your blood vessels to relax. It allows them to widen. It increases blood flow exactly when you need it. Without it, the entire process becomes weaker, slower, less reliable. Now here's where the problem begins. As you age, your natural production of nitric oxide declines. That's normal. But when you combine that with modern habits, processed foods, low activity levels, chronic stress, poor sleep, you accelerate that decline. Your blood vessels become less flexible, less responsive. They don't open the way they used to. And the result? Reduced performance. But here's the part that changes everything. This system can be supported, it can be improved, and in many cases, it can be restored. Not by forcing a reaction, but by giving your body what it needs to function properly again. This is where one simple, powerful food comes into the picture. Beetroot. It may seem ordinary, it's not marketed as a solution. It doesn't promise instant results. But what it does offer is something far more valuable: real physiological support. Beetroot is rich in natural nitrates, and when you consume it, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. That one conversion sets off a chain reaction. Your blood vessels relax, your circulation improves, your oxygen delivery becomes more efficient, and your body begins to respond the way it was designed to. This is not a temporary boost. It's not an artificial effect. It's a restoration of a natural process that may have been suppressed. And when that process comes back online, you feel it, not just physically, but mentally. Because now there's no guesswork, there's no uncertainty. Your body responds, and that response rebuilds confidence. Now let's go deeper into what makes this so effective. Most men focus on the outcome. They want stronger performance, better stamina, more consistency. But very few focus on the mechanism that creates those outcomes: blood flow. Without it, nothing else matters. And improving blood flow is not about stimulation, it's about capacity. Your body needs the ability to deliver more blood, more efficiently at the right time. Beetroot enhances that capacity. It improves the flexibility of your blood vessels, making them more responsive to signals. It supports the inner lining of those vessels, helping them function better over time. And it increases the availability of nitric oxide, which is essential for the entire process. So instead of forcing your body to react, you're enabling it to perform. That's a completely different approach. Now think about what that means long term. Instead of relying on something external every time, you're building a foundation, a system that works on its own, a body that responds naturally, and that changes your entire experience. You're no longer planning around performance. You're no longer hoping things will work. You're simply present, because your body is doing what it's supposed to do. That presence is powerful. It removes pressure, it removes anxiety, it allows everything to flow naturally. And that's when performance reaches its peak, not when it's forced, but when it's effortless. There's also another layer to this that often gets overlooked: energy. If your energy levels are low, your performance will reflect that. Fatigue affects everything: your mood, your focus, your physical response. Beetroot helps here as well. By improving oxygen efficiency in your body, it allows your muscles and tissues to perform with less effort. This translates to better endurance, less fatigue, and more sustained energy. That's why athletes use it, and that same benefit applies here. When your body has more energy, it performs better in every aspect. Now, let's talk about consistency again, because this is where most people either succeed or fail. Natural approaches require patience, they require repetition, but they also create lasting results. Drinking beetroot juice once won't transform your performance overnight, but incorporating it into your routine regularly, that's where the change happens. Your body adapts, your systems improve, and over time, what once felt difficult becomes natural again. You start noticing signs: stronger morning responses, better sensitivity, increased confidence. These are not coincidences. They are indicators that your body is recovering. And once that recovery begins, it tends to build momentum. Because the more your body experiences successful responses, the more it reinforces that pattern. And that's how you break the cycle of doubt. Now imagine the opposite. Relying on something external every time, needing to plan ahead, worrying about timing, that creates dependence. And dependence creates pressure. But when you shift to a natural approach, you remove that dependency, you regain control. And that control is what brings confidence back. There's also a broader health perspective here that's worth considering. Your vascular system doesn't just affect one part of your body, it affects everything: your heart, your brain, your muscles, your overall vitality. So when you improve circulation, you're not just improving performance, you're improving your quality of life. And that's something that extends far beyond one moment. It affects how you feel every day, how you think, how you move, how you live. Now, it's important to be realistic. This is not about perfection, it's about progress. Even small improvements in circulation can lead to noticeable changes in performance, and those changes build over time. Also, keep in mind that lifestyle plays a huge role. If you're combining beetroot with poor habits, you're limiting its potential. But if you support it with better sleep, regular movement, and stress management, the results can be significant. Everything works together. Now, a quick note: beetroot can cause a temporary reddish tint in urine or stool. This is completely harmless and simply a result of natural pigments. It's nothing to worry about. Also, if you're on blood pressure medication, be mindful of how your body responds, since beetroot can naturally lower blood pressure. But for most people, it's a safe and effective addition. And perhaps the most powerful takeaway from all of this is how simple the solution is. You don't need complexity. You don't need expensive treatments. You don't need to rely on something every time. You just need to support your body in the right way, because your body already knows how to perform. It just needs the right conditions. And when you create those conditions, everything changes. Performance becomes natural again, confidence becomes automatic, and you stop thinking about it altogether because it simply works. So if you're looking for a real, sustainable way to improve performance, start here. Start with what you put into your body. Start with consistency. Start with something that works at the root level. Because once you fix the root, everything built on top of it becomes stronger. And that's how real change happens. What if one simple food could restore your natural performance without pills, pressure, or side effects? This isn't about a quick fix, it's about fixing the root, because most men completely ignore. Stronger blood flow means stronger, more reliable results, and it starts with what you eat. Thousands are turning to this natural method to rebuild confidence and stamina from within. If you're ready to stop relying on pills and start trusting your body again, this could change everything.